Hello everybody and welcome to another Town of Salem gameplay video. Today I am Cup of Joe, the Escort, the Lady of the Night, the distractor of men and women alike. At least it seems so in this game. And I love playing Escort. I actually feel like Escort's pretty fun and fairly useful. However, I always rollblock Night 1, and some people are adamant and say that you shouldn't rollblock Night 1 as Escort because you could rollblock Town. And so I think about that, right? In my head, you really only have a couple town that's really... There's only a couple town you really don't want to roadblock Night 1. That's Town Investigative. That's really it. Town Killing doesn't matter. Veggies can't shoot Night 1, and I mean, you hope you don't run into a vet, but Town Protective, they rarely ever get a kill protection Night 1, so the stats are against you, because they're random healing. The stats are against you blocking them, and Jailer can't even execute Night 1. So I feel like the only people that are really hurt by Night 1 blocks are evil people. And even though, Mafia still makes a kill most times, and you may stop random Mafia from visiting, which can help if Spy's there. Or you may hit the neutral killing, or you may hit the neutral evil, and have them have to claim that they're roadblocked, Executioner can't claim that they found somebody out if you roadblock them, right? Anyway, Sheriff Nice Guy here died Night 1. I do want to ask you a question. And there's going to be a poll that pops up because I'm really curious to hear what it is that you guys have to say. Do you think Escort should block Night 1? Yes or no? Poll's going to pop up in the top right-hand corner right about now. I already told you why I think that you should, or at least that you could. I think that the only people that are going to be harmed by it in town is Town Investigative, which is 2 good guys potentially harmed and 5-6 bad guys potentially harmed by a Night 1 roadblock. So I kind of like it. But anyway, let me know what it is. Go ahead and answer the poll. After you answer the poll, hit that like button and get ready for the rest of the game, which is a pretty decent one. I do enjoy this game, and I think there's some good stuff to learn from it. So, Andrelli says the clown is a target of the Mafia. This sounds very Executioner. Although we should always get a claim, so we should get a claim from Clown right now. Goose does claim roadblocked, which I do check for that. I like to make sure that people claim that they're roadblocked, otherwise I feel like they may potentially be evil or hiding something. It just seems suspicious when they don't. And they claimed Doc, right? And they did claim, and he claimed Doc is what I said, just to clarify. He claims Doc again and goes ahead and says what his Night 1 results are. So here I actually make a little bit of a misplay though, right? And I'm kind of thinking John Proctor says sounds like an X. And it does sound a bit like an X right now, although John Proctor is kind of town zoned right now in my head due to them saying that Mafia tends to wants the X to win, and because it means that they lynch a town. And so I feel like Mafia tends to be a little bit more quiet or a little bit more forceful when it comes to a potential Executioner play. Now, I go ahead and I rollback Andre. And I'm not even sure why, because Andre is actually the target that we're talking about. Andre is the person who claimed, so claimed that they found Mafia, right? So really, it doesn't make sense. If they're Executioner and roadblocking them, it doesn't really help us. And if he's actually Sheriff, that doesn't really help us either. So I make a misplay right there. But I find that he's jailed, which is actually okay, because I feel like it kind of helps me out. Potentially, if I get called out by the jailer or something like that, or by the rest of town, I can say, I investigated that, or I roadblocked that person, but they were blocked. But really, typically, Mafia wouldn't be pushing on somebody unless it was Framer, which maybe I was thinking that a little bit at the time, but not very likely. Now, Nemesis is dead, right? And that's a bummer, because Nemesis was Transporter, and Transporter is helpful, okay? But Clown is dead as well, and Clown is the person who is being pushed on by the so-called Sheriff. Dr. Clown, Steve, Night 2, Hera. Alright, nothing particular there. Oh, Mafioso. So what does this mean? It means that the person who called out the Clown as being Mafia and claimed Sheriff was either yes, Sheriff, or a very lucky jester. Andrew says, told you idiots, in all caps, which really, don't be a jerk, guys. When you're right, nobody likes an I told you so. And in this game, you're going to lose friends because of it. As in, you're going to lose support later on in the game. I don't like Andre for saying that. It's like, really, just relax, okay? You're right. You're confirmed. But if we didn't check to make sure, and if we didn't make sure that you were an executioner and we just lynched him and you were X, then you would be like, haha, you're an idiot too. So there was no way of making somebody like him happy. Ninja is now whispering to Andre, and so is John Proctor. Nothing necessarily from there, right? Big Shaq says, no X or Jester, you're a moron. Because Sam Paris has claimed that they were witched, okay? So Sam Paris claims that they're witched and then says, also, I am Sheriff, checked Pickle last night, he's Mafia. And so Pickle gets pushed up. There's a witch claim, which means that there's not an X or Jester. He claims Sheriff and pushes up on Pickle. Now, Pickle claims Doc. That's interesting. And when Pickle claims Doc here, I start thinking about it, and I said, Sam, I spelled his name wrong. I said Same, claimed witch, and then claimed that he found Mafia. And honestly, to me, that sounds a little bit executionary, because we don't even know if there was an actual witch. Nobody claimed a witch night 1, right? So I'm worried that he's actually executioner, trying to suggest there's no executioner, and then getting a free lynch here, okay? So I go ahead and say, I think this is Inno. There's no CC, and because there's no CC for TP, and I feel it's suspicious that Sam claimed both witched and that he had been witched before, and that he found Mafia and Sam Paris, that just doesn't sound right. He didn't claim that he was witched before, and if he was witched last night, there's no way that he would know who it is that he visited. So it just doesn't make much sense. Now, there's a push on Sam Paris, and Pickle says he is Jester, which I'm not sure if he's Jester or Executioner. Either way, I do not believe him that there was a witch. However, if it comes to be that somebody else gets witched, we have to go back and think about it again. Pickle did claim Doctor, though, and there was no CCs, and that's the biggest, most important thing as far as I'm concerned, right? Is that there was no CC. And as long as there's no CC, you can't lynch it. I mean, if there's a BMer happening, if somebody claims, is spamming the votes as if they're BM'd, or if there's cleans, then CCs are really hard because there may be a dead guy who would have CC'd it. But in this situation, in theory at least, if there was a bodyguard or a doctor other than Pickle who was claiming Doctor, they should have CC'd it, right? It's just you should do that. I know some people say you shouldn't CC when there's so many random towns left. I disagree, because we need to start getting claims, and you might as well get claims in a reasonable way. Now, Andre says, Night 1, your target's a member of Mafia. River Song, he's Maf. So Andre, who voted on Clown and got and seemed exy, Clown was actually Mafioso. Now he's saying that River Song is Maf. Ninja says, LOL, somebody rollblocked me. Now, the reason why I went for Ninja is because Ninja suggested that if we killed Pickle and he was innocent, we should, then Sam Proctor is going to be in big trouble. And I tend to find that people who tend to say, oh, well, if this person's we should get this person tomorrow, and it seems like there's an X involved, I find those people suspicious. It almost makes me feel like they're trying to push for anybody but themselves. So I don't really like that, and that's why I blocked Ninja. Ninja did claim that he was blocked, though, which I do like seeing that. There was no Mafia kills last night, so maybe something happened. Maybe Ninja is evil. I don't know yet. Now, River Song was supposedly found out by Andre, who, from all known from if there's any purpose, it seems like Andre is the sheriff or a very lucky jester. Those are the only two options, right? So he pushed up on River Song, and I agree with this push. I say, River Song claims that maybe there's a framer. So I say, if there's a spy, now's the time to come up to it. Samuel Paris is Inuit, and all right, now you're sounding like you're evil right here. And River Song, who claimed that they were veteran, says that they'll start alerting Ninja guilties, and it's a little bit suspicious, but there's so many Innos that my gut feeling is that Mafia is also Inno this. That doesn't mean that Mafia, that guy was Mafia. Now, John Proctor gets voted up, right? And he says, yep, I'm Framer. So basically how this whole thing started is John Proctor was pushing and kind of joined in on the bandwagon from Andre against the person who claimed veteran, to which there was no CC. Now we've pushed up John Proctor, and John Proctor literally claims that he's Framer. I mean, all right. Hera pushed on him, so I like Hera right now. And, what had really happened, I'm sorry, I forgot something. Andre had said that John Proctor told him, Andre, to check on the person who Riversong who claims veteran. So that's kind of how we got started with John Proctor perhaps being Mafia, and that's how he was kind of influencing the game. Well, the moment he pushed him up though, he claimed Framer, which is like, seriously? I mean, come on. So there's an entirely reasonable. Now, John Proctor didn't necessarily have a bad play, not necessarily, but he really put himself out there. It's better, in my opinion, if you're Framer, not to explicitly tell a sheriff to invest somebody, but to subtly imply suspicion, right? And hopefully that makes the sheriff investigate that person without you actually having to claim that you found or think you found an evil person. So John Proctor kind of messed himself up pretty good right there, and John Proctor is now a dead Framer. So here I put in my will that Ninja didn't claim. That was a misread again. So I've had 2 misplays already this game. It's not been my most intensely great game in terms of myself. However, I feel like Town's playing really well, which is why I wanted to show it to you. Now, 2 things happened today. Last night, I should say. One is that I was attacked by Mafia, and it may have been because I was fairly talkative. And 2, I was attacked by Werewolf. Well, luckily for me, I have a good will, and I kept my will nice and updated. So my will is entirely and completely updated. Now, Random Town 1 is Transporter. Technically, actually, I should put Random Town 1 as me, Escort, but that's alright. The point is, since I happen to know that I was Escort and we already had a dead Transporter, we knew that Random Town number 1 was Escort, okay? So now we have a dead Escort, which is fine because we have 2 dead Mafia, and Geralt of Rivera, I was also attacked by Mafia, remember? So this person, Geralt of Rivera, visited me and is dead. This seems to be a Vigi will, right? And there was no CC to the veteran claim. So what can we probably assume about this? This seems like this is likely to be a Mafia, right? Gotta be. Nope. Vigilante. So it's a little bit suspicious. Like, I'm not really sure necessarily what had happened here at first. And then I kind of thought about it for a second. I was like, oh, I see. Geralt of Rivera decided to shoot Big Shaq, whom I decided to roadblock. By roadblocking him, I kept him home. Therefore, the Vigilante was killed by him because he didn't leave his house. Now, if I hadn't roadblocked him, the Vigi would have shot the werewolf, Big Shaq, whom we think is a werewolf. And if Big Shaq was immune, which it seems like he is, that would not have been an issue for the Vigilante. Vigilante would have lived. But since I roadblocked him, that means he stayed home and he killed me instead. And because he stayed home, he also killed the person who visited him, who was Vigilante. So, but it's pretty much, you gotta vote up Big Shaq here. It does seem like he's likely to be evil. 2 people visited him, and he died to werewolf. Now, again, like I said, if he wasn't roadblocked, it wouldn't be such a great reasoning here. If he had instead visited Steve and wasn't roadblocked, and Vigilante died, visited Big Shaq and died, that would be a little bit more confusing. But because he was kept home, it's pretty obvious here what's going on. Big Shaq says, I'm invest, here's my will. Big Shaq, the investigator, was going to investigate Hera and was roadblocked. Y'all can confirm, he says. We all claim those roles, Pickle says, and this is a great point. Ba-ba-boom. Now in Dead Chat, I'm saying Ninja I think is Witch, so Goose is Moth, because I'm seeing some whispering and stuff happening, some kind of collect, like they're joining together and speaking very similarly. I should say it appears like they have a repertoire together, right? However, I totally forgot that what we had originally thought of was that there isn't in fact a witch. Only one person claimed witch, and that was Sam Paris. And Sam Paris really felt like they may have been an executioner, or who was pushing on Pickle, or he could perhaps be a jester. So, this is. I'm not showing you this game, guys, because this is my best game. This is actually one of the worst games I've played in a while that I'm showing on the channel. So now that he's going ahead, and Big Shaq says that he actually found Jailer a while ago, and in his will it says that Ninja is spy, BM, or Jailer. So all right, Ninja's not the witch. You're being silly, Skim. You're being silly. Ninja is the Jailer. So the question is, you gotta hope now that there is a Town Protective on the jailer, because that's where Town Protective should be right now, is on the jailer. Steve's dead and says, damn it. He's like, all right, so what are you, Steve? What are you? Executed by the jailer. Dumb jailer got lucky. People who say that you claim BG, okay. There's a claim that Pickle claimed that he was Doctor, so there's already some counterclaims right there. And BG is a very common GF claim, so you gotta be a little bit concerned about that. Now, he claims BG was Godfather. Nicely done to the jailer here. So, I'm not really sure if it's a luck thing. It doesn't sound like it's a luck thing, but usually the Please Check X works with Framer. I don't know what John Proctor is. He's saying that as he tends to find that one Framer, if he whispers to a confirmed sheriff to check so and so and they're mafia, it works for him. But to be fair, it's a very hard thing to push against a vet claim, right? It's very hard to push against a vet claim. So right now they're pushing on Pickle a little bit. Pickle didn't claim vet. Pickle claimed Doc. Who claimed vet? The other person who's voted up, River Song, claimed vet, right? But it's very hard to push on a vet claim. So they push on Hera right now. And I think they're basically just pushing for roles at this point. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. I say in Dead Chat that they shouldn't vote this, right? Hera claims Rhett. And there's no reason, in my opinion, not to kill this person. There's a reason why I'm saying I don't think they should be pushing this right now. That's because I think that there's so much more we can be doing. The last Mafia, there's only one Mafia left, can be found by the sheriff. Could be found by the jailer. We have Town Protective still alive. I don't think there's any reason for us not to be doing this. Andrew says, oh my goodness, she's Jester. I don't think she's Jester. I don't see a single reason why Evil would claim Retributionist in this case. So I don't think that Hera is neutral evil. I think that Sam Paris is neutral evil here in our situation. And Hera, I think, might actually be Retributionist. They push back against Hera again. And I don't know why it is that they're doing this. Give her a chance to ret, says Pickle. And I think that's a really great point. Pickle seems kind of towny to me after that. Because there's no rush, guys. There's really no rush for this game. Goose is pushed up now, right? Goose is more likely, says Sam Paris. Goose the bodyguard. Okay. Now there's already a doctor claim. So you are counterclaiming a doctor here. Now, bodyguard is not a typical claim for any mafia who's not Godfather. It's a very interesting claim, right? I told Jilly to get Steve last night. I'm Town. Okay. It's Hera or River Song. So Goose seems pretty towny to me right now. I don't believe in his deduction though. It's Hera or River Song. There's room for Retributionist, and there's no CCs to River Song's vet. Andre and Hera both vote guilty. Ninja innocence, right? Don't lynch. Jail 1. There's your moth, Hera. I disagree with that. I really do disagree with that. Retributionist is such a silly claim right now for Mafia. So if I was in the jailer situation right now, I would be letting Hera stay out. And I want to know what it is that you would do. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think Hera's evil? Do you think it's Pickle? Do you think it's River Song? Who do you think it is? Do you think Sam Paris is not neutral evil? I'm suggesting that Town should not have lynched today. I do not think it was the best play. I think the better play for Town would have been to kind of sit back a little bit, right? And allow people to find more information. We have a jailer, which is getting information. We have a Town Protective still alive. And we have a sheriff, a confirmed sheriff. So I would not have jailed Hera tonight because I think Retributionist is such a silly claim at this point, if you're Moff, that nobody in their right mind would do it. Maybe she's neutral evil, but she's not Mafia, right? That's my gut feeling right now. So I would say don't jail her and see what happens, right? See what happens as we go on. And then, of course, there was some danger. If Jailer X somebody, and it was Town, there was definitely some danger. Now, Goose is brought back to life, which means the Hera, of course, is the Retributionist. So, River Song says Pickle and Sam Paris are evil because at this point, Ninja's confirmed as Jailer, Andre is confirmed Sheriff, Goose basically is claiming what were they claiming again? I can't remember now. What did they claim? I don't remember. Sam Paris claims Jester, right? And it's like, well, should we give Jester the win? Maybe we should. River Song claims Vet. Hera claims that they are the Retributionists, and it does seem like they are true. So really, it's between Goose and Pickle, right? But I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm sorry, guys, but I cannot remember what it is that Goose was claiming. Help me out here. Totally. Yes, it was that. Whatever role you just said, that's the role that it was. So it seems like basically we're going to give the Jester the win. I don't really have a problem with that, I guess. You know, it's like, whatever. And Steve says something. I want to point this out, guys. There is a bug right now with Ranked. And some people say that I'm being a jerk recently, and maybe they're right. But there's a bug with Ranked right now where you can basically stop yourself from getting any ranked points ELO deductions by just leaving the game. And it's scummy, truthfully. I think it's pathetic. And if you're one of the people who watch this video and you do this, where you leave the game in Ranked if you're losing it, I think you probably should not be playing Ranked then, because you clearly have no ambition to play it in a way that actually shows a level of skill or challenges yourself. So I don't leave Ranked games because I lost. I don't mind losing. I like to see how good I actually am. So if you're one of the people who leaves, I'm sorry. I think that that's lame, and I think you should stop. But it kind of ruins the point for me doing these videos. Anyway, as you can tell, I'm a little salty about it. We lynched the Jester, and at this point, it's like it's Pickle or it's Goose. There's no real in between. My guess at this point is that it might actually be Goose or Pickle. I mean, which is really interesting because it's not what I had thought it would be. I was thinking that since Sam Paris was pushing Pickle so hard that they may have been Executioner turned Jester or something like that, and Pickle was actually Random Town Doc, but it's not the case here, I don't think. Now if I was Jailer, I do not. Oh, and Pickle leaves the game. Pickle leaving the game basically means to me that he was jailed and decided he was going to leave the game, so he didn't lose ELO because he's a baby. And you guys, I've had some comments saying now, you keep calling people baby and you're being mean to people. I'm sorry, get over it. I mean, if you are being a little bit of a child or acting like that, I think I'm going to have to call you out on it. Part of my responsibility, I think, in this community is to help you guys become better players and help the game be more fun. And I'm sorry, but leaving the game because you think you're losing and you don't want to lose ELO is not particularly impressive to me. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I know there was some ranting. I know it wasn't the best gameplay, but I think it was important to see Town play together and take a good win. So I hope you all enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe or downvote. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.